We're back with more of Real Estate Update. We're learning about the man, James Wedgeworth, who is here with me. No, but it's interesting. You, I know, have quite a family. You mentioned when you first got here, you had one baby daughter. Jane was pregnant. How many children do you have, and grandchildren a lot?
I have 4 children, girl, boy, boy.
Yep.
And they range from 43 to 35, I think.
Close.
So I have 4. Yeah. My 2 sons work with me. My second daughter lives on the island, and then my oldest daughter lives in Dallas. I have 13 grandkids.
That's amazing.
Soon to be
Another?
14.
Wow.
Soon to be 14.
And you send out a holiday card with everybody on the holiday card.
Oh,
wow, it's
yes.
great though, but that's a big family.
The right word is blessed. People always say, you're so lucky you have so many grandkids.
Okay.
I say I'm blessed. I mean, I'm just blessed to have that many. Very few people have 13 or 14, soon to be 14.
What's it like working with your sons? I mean, is that difficult? Is it difficult for them? I mean, do they feel, I'd have to ask them, but they're sometimes in your shadow somewhat? You know
I'm
what
sure
I mean?
they feel that way, but actually I made a rule with my 4 kids when they were in school. I said, you're not going to work for your dad out of college.
Okay.
0 chance. So I've seen so many people on the internet that the kids went off to college, they came home, worked with their parents, and they never really left high school, I call it.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so all my kids went out and worked, and both my sons have come back to work for me. And there's no saying in business that you never hire somebody you don't have the ability to fire. Well, you can't fire your 2 sons, but they turned out to be.
They're an asset for sure.
They are so good. Yeah. I tell everybody I work for them. They said, Dad, you need to do this, you need to do this. Yeah. Okay,
Who got you, well, we're going to back up on how things used to be, but just now I want to ask you, who got you up to speed on your shipping out your emails, your videos? You know, you're really up to date as far as social media and everything else. Was that a learning process for you? Was there someone in the office? Was it your sons? How did you figure all that out?
Well, it was actually before my sons.
Yeah.
My staff, I was very, very fortunate. I had an excellent staff, and they understood all that better than I did. So they would say, well, you need to say this, you need to do this, you need to shoot a video on this, you need to do an email on this, we need to go out and feature this. So they were always telling me, hey, I know you're very, very good, but you got to be a step ahead of the competition.
So, and you listen to other people, which is so important.
And I learned. I mean, you know, I just figured it out myself, you know. I mean, there's a lot to learn. There's always new ideas coming out in promotions and social media and digital marketing. And in fact, at our company, we've actually hired a digital marketing director that does our digital marketing and our social media.
Wow. Yeah, and that's really important now. So let's go back. That's all up to date. But when you started, was MLS around? Did you have the MLS, sheets or books?
When I first started, MLS had just started, and we had 1 computer per office. So you had to wait your turn. Had those little rabbit ear things that you put over, and you typed in what you were looking for. People are probably like,
what are you talking about? I get it, but there's some people that would be like,
it was that slick paper would come out, and you'd say, Sea Pines Villas for sale. You'd print them out, and you'd take the list, and off you'd go. And in fact, a good friend of mine, he's no longer with us, but he's a great guy. When we went to that system, he came into the office. He said, I got to retire. This is getting too complicated. And then we had the MLS books. And you carried those around with you.
I mean, and those could at times, depending on the inventory, I mean, or where you're looking, they were pretty darn thick.
Well, some of them looked like a Detroit news, phone book there about that. In the bad years, you had a lot of inventory. But they were very helpful. And eventually, we don't use those anymore. But the thing about real estate, it's no different than any other business. It changes. And a good friend of mine told me one time, see if I can get this right. He said, if you don't like change, you won't like being irrelevant. And it took for a while for that to sink in, but I said, I got it. I got it. You have to be ahead of the curve or you'll be left behind. You'll be totally irrelevant in 10 years. Nobody will ever know that you ever existed. So it's a challenge to try to be a step ahead of the competition every single day. That's the only way you can do it and be successful. and we've tried that.
So you said you mentor people, or you enjoy doing that. You're helpful with agents. Maybe if you say, maybe you should try it this way. Then I want to go back to the competitive streak. How do you measure that you're the #1 salesperson on the island? I'm sure you've received recognition. What's your goal when you say you're competitive? What is it that you want to be, or that you are?
Well, just competitive nature. I grew up selling books door to door. As competitive as you get. You just do your best. You really don't worry about being #1. Your goal is to give the best service you possibly can, to stay in contact with your people, to keep them updated on their market. Most people, there's some amazing national numbers on that'll blow you away. You won't believe me if I tell you. But most people don't do a good job in follow-up in real estate. And I need to improve on it. Every now and then I get a little note from somebody and go, I didn't do as good a job as I should staying in contact with them.
Well, from some personal experience, which I will reveal, I'm working with you and my husband. I think you did a great job. So thank you. We're going to take one more break, okay? And we will be back in just a moment.